Nyght, ride on the track.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? I see a few of you are in the chat. We appreciate you joining us each and every week, same time, each 8 p.m. Tuesdays. Of course, we're going to stay at this time as long as you have us. So we appreciate you guys. Go ahead and share this content out right now. And I mean right now. So in case you don't know who we are, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves before we get into the shenanigans, because it's going to be one today. So let's talk about it. We are the ladies of Champagne Confessions, and I'm your co-host, Miss Maggie T. And who do I have right next to me?
Your other co-host, Miss Kai, aka Tired as Hell.
So I took a nap. I took an old lady nap. So look, I'm a little bit more energetic than you today. I did take my little nap today. I was like, you know what? I done worked all day. Kids got on my nerves. I didn't want to come in here irritated because I was. Trust and believe. So what's going on, people? Put some love in the chat, some flowers. Say hello to us. We appreciate you. Like I said, hit that subscribe button and share it out so more people can tune in. Let's get to it. Let's start it off. For those who don't know, we always start you off with a little bit of motivation before we get into the craziness. So, if you're having a bad day and, you don't know what happened, you just need a little bit of pick me up. This is what we call this session right here, the My Mental Space Motivational Moment. And we actually got two quotes that I found and Miss Kai found. It's kind of rare that we both find one together. So I'll showcase both of them and, we'll reflect on each one that we put up. And it's kind of heading into what our topic is today, actually. So let's go ahead and put up the first one and I'll get on that one. And Miss Kai, you can describe the next one after that one. So I thought this was kind of, fitting. Just kind of a reminder to everybody that choose you first. People always think that the most painful thing in life is losing the one you value. The truth is, the most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of valuing someone too much and forgetting that you are special too. Oftentimes we do for others. We put everything aside, and that's the problem. You shouldn't put yourself on the back burner. You are the priority, and you have to always remember that. You might feel obligated in relationships, your job, etc., but don't let a job, people stress you out to the point where you lose yourself. And that's an issue. What you think about that, Miss Kai?
I think that's common with people today, generally speaking. That's just the way the world is. I think the only time, some people, it changed them for the better. But when we were, in the lockdown, when the thing came, that was the slowest and the most calm I've ever witnessed the world, of course, and that's probably the same for many other people.
Yeah.
And then it gave time to evaluate and do a lot of self-care, self-healing, all of that good stuff. And when it was over with, it was just back to rush time, rushing, and really not focusing on what we need personally. A lot of times we don't think about, and it's human, it's human, but we don't think about, in order to continue doing the things that we would like to do, love to do, even the stuff that we don't, we have to take care of ourselves, because if we're not together, healthy, ourselves, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing. It's
that crash and burn. Your body's gonna tell you. Yeah, your body's gonna definitely shut you down before you shut yourself down. And it's gonna be one of those, and there's a lot of time that comes with health, and we're gonna get into why this is most important. But take care of yourself. That's just the main thing. And then of course, Miss Kai also put this quote up here too. Like leading into what our topic is. Go ahead, Miss Kai.
Okay, well, as you see right here, just read along and follow. Like, really, when we put these quotes up, me personally, I really like, if when we put these quotes up, that you all listen to the words that we're saying, but really look at it. If you can see it, but really listen and take in the words, so that you can feel the words, within yourself. But
like a reflection. That's kind of a reflection. Right, I think that's great.
Right. It says, hit the reset button. Whatever happened yesterday, forget about it. Get a new perspective. Today is a new day. A fresh start begins now.
Okay. Basically, and I like that. So it's just basically, don't worry about what the world brought to you today, yesterday. Oh, you had a terrible weekend. You lost your job. Whatever the case is, you got to reset. Press the reset button no matter what you're doing. And you got to forget about it. It's like, what? Yesterday was yesterday, but today I opened my eyes. I was blessed to see it. So I need to take this day one day at a time. It's a new day. You got a new opportunity to start first. I like that quote. And what you got on that, Ms. Kai?
I mean, you said it all. And that's what I was saying on the first quote that you put up there. Basically goes back to this. It's all about reflection. Okay. We know we're not going to be any good if we continue to go and go and go and go and go and keep going. It's our bodies. It's like a car. The car won't keep going without you putting the gas in it, or now these days charging it up. Electric car, same thing. It doesn't matter. It will not go. And that's how we are. We need things to fuel us. Self-care, food. We can't keep going without those things. And so just be mindful that you sometimes have to set the reset button. And I'm actually going through that myself personally as we speak, live and in color, baby. Seriously. So that's all I got. Just take the words in and really listen. Again, we're talking real stuff. We don't really, I won't say really, we don't believe in sugarcoating anything on this show. It's take it or leave it. We rather be honest and upfront, because this is what the show is about. We're not here to I'm not saying we have to go all into detail about every single little thing, but in all, the overview of things. If it ain't good, it ain't good. If you ain't feeling it
Absolutely.
today, you ain't feeling it today. And y'all will get that because you're deserving of us sharing this to try to help you and knowing that you're not alone. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And shout out to everybody that's in the chat. J Rock, what's going on? What's
hey
going
fellas.
on? How you doing,
Yep.
Matt Mike Sports? Hey ladies, how you doing? I see more in the chat. I need to see some more conversations, a little bit more engagement. Let us know you're here, not just watching. We just appreciate you tuning in all together. So I want to do a little something special. We haven't done this in a while. Because we're talking about just resetting.
Mm-hmm.
Redoing your life. Like you got to really just take a step back. Sometimes you got to shut all the way down. And before we get into it, our hot topic, I do want to do like a moment of reflection, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
And like we did it last year, it was like a 60
We
minute,
did.
60 second sound where everybody just kind of reflect. And I just want you to close your eyes if you can and just breathe and think. And I wanted to bring that because it's kind of fitting. That's how you start with
Mm-hmm.
kind of resetting yourself. You got to put everything down,
Mm-hmm.
everything down. So let's go ahead and do a little pause for your mental silence here. And we'll probably I want everybody just kind of reflect and just take a breather. I think it's beautiful to do that. And we're going to stay silent for 60 seconds. I appreciate you guys. I'll get my little timer on here. Give me a minute, folks.
Mm-hmm. Say a prayer if y'all need to. Just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me set it for 60 seconds. All right. Here we go. Got to clear everything out. Okay. Here we go. 60 seconds. All right. You ready, lady?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Let's go. A little quiet time, everybody. And I appreciate you guys just tuning in to us. And, we love you. Definitely. So let's just think about how this sounds, how this feels, and just think about the moment. My bad. I got the wrong song going. Hold on. Here we go. Let's go. Thank you, everybody. I had myself on mute. My bad. That wasn't the music I wanted to put up there, but last minute, hey, what's going on, Southside? How you doing? But just the concept is that it's just find you something that you like to listen to. It can be your favorite song. It can be nature sounds. It can be anything that kind of just gets you. You can be a good bop. Put some headphones on. Tune the lights down if you can. Um, Even if you got to go sit in the bathroom and get away from the kids for just 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be long, but you need that time to kind of get yourself together. Cry. If you're taking a shower, go cry it out. Let it out, yell, scream, get it all out. But then just get back to yourself, gather yourself, and start over again. It's okay. It's okay to have a bad day. But just remember, take that reflection each and every day so you are not completely overwhelmed. And even if you are, lay down. take a break, and we're gonna get into that. So I hope guys kind of let us know how you felt about that one. Just reminding you guys we got to pause for a little bit, and that's the whole concept of that. So, but now, yeah, hot topic time. Are you ready for the shenanigans, lady? Are you muted? Oh, my bad.
Hold on. You
No,
muted
you are. Because your noise was in the background. It was like supposed to be complete silence.
What was in the background?
I can hear you moving. So I was like, let me pause her because it's supposed to be us being quiet. But you good now. You good now. I'm talking about when the music was playing.
Well, I wasn't saying that, so it's fine.
Okay. Hey, Jamie, how you doing? How you doing? We appreciate you tuning in.
You said ready. I mean,
yeah. Yeah. Let's get into it, lady. Woo! So this topic right here, people, and I know it's been hot topic as of lately, but yeah, these two right here. It's been going around. Well, I can say this. We've been getting some good music. Well, depending on who you like. But each person brought out something. It's like, okay, but apparently Kendrick Lamar's tracks are kind of, number one and things like that. So no matter what this beef is causing, if you've been on the rock, like I always say, Drake and Kendrick Lamar get personal on simultaneously released diss tracks against each other in the last week. And a lot of allegations and things are going on in this situation. And me and Kyle over here, like, trying to catch up. And it's like, there's a timeline on my Facebook profile that kind of gives you a breakdown of all the tracks. As a matter of fact, let me get that track list so y'all kind of have that timeline yourself, actually, because I thought that was I was like, it's just too much going on. These guys are sitting there just dissing each other back and forth, but I'm all here for it, And I did see somebody say, oh, our community, we focus too much on, rap beef, and then we don't highlight each other. We don't do this. But come on. Rap beef has been decades. You get what I'm saying? That's just kind of what it is. Long as nobody is shooting and fighting, even though they said that Drake had, in front of his home, somebody got shot. Nobody was critically injured, but a lot of people was like, hey, was it Kendrick Lamar sending some stuff over? That type of deal. And I honestly don't think Kendrick is that type. He don't take me as a person I'm finna come get you, especially if he's sitting on top with his tracks. He's winning. At the same time, depending on who you're hearing it from, I don't know. It says J. Cole was right about backing out at the right time. He knew all along. He already knew. It's like he already knew that it was going to be, because these are lyrics, shoot, Kendrick, please.
Yeah, Kendrick is I like both of them. I love Drake. I love Kendrick Lamar, but Kendrick is like, to me, he's more like a lyricist, like spitting the truth, like some real, he is with the movement, and like think about the tracks he put out for Black Panther and so on. I mean, they some real bangers. Drake has some bangers too. It's different. Drake speaks on some stuff, but like I said, Kendrick is more like, I guess, more poetic to me. Like
poetic justice.
Yeah. So, for me.
And I mean, I like Drake. I'm not like a huge fan of Drake either, though. But yeah, I kind of lean towards the side of Kendrick. Just his, I don't know. It's just something about his style that I really like. But a lot of people, I don't want to hear all the education in my, in my rap and etc. It don't, it's a little too. I'm gonna say a lot of critique. Some people saying, "Oh, you just, Drake music. You just want to shake your butt on it and that type of stuff." This is more club pop and all that kind of stuff. So Drake woke up the beast, and Kendrick Lamar, I agree. Well, I mean, honestly, in both of them, because I'm gonna go down this track list so y'all can kind of, tell me that you hear all of this, basically, because I think that they don't had a whole timeline of stuff. So give me a moment to post this up in the chat. Give me a moment. So y'all see the track list as well. And what does it said Kendrick Lamar came from Eminem's camp, so he's gonna win. Okay, I see some people. So let's put it in the chat. The question is definitely, who are you for? Who you think is winning this battle? I'm curious to see what everybody got to say. Just put in the chat, like, who really is killing it right now. Or do you think this is just a marketing ploy where they're going to come back together and get on some tracks together? And it's like, aha, psych your mind. We were just playing. I don't know. So I wish that picture would load. But I'll just go ahead and go down the track list since it's not loading real quick. But it said 322, just kind of give you out the timeline. Kendrick Lamar came out with his track Like That. Then April 5th, J. Cole came back with a 7-minute drill. And then as you guys know, here it goes right here. He backed out and was like, nah, I don't know about this one. I think I'm going to stick out of this one. So 412, he deletes 7-minute drill and decide, hey, I'm waving the white flag. I ain't getting into this at all. That ain't me, and a lot of people in the chat was like, some people was like, oh, that's weak. That's sorry, but I think he probably just like, nah, this ain't this bigger than, I respect the man. And he gave the man his props. He definitely did. So, then we got Drake kind of in the chat. Drake had his song Push-Ups come out. And then Drake did another one with Taylor Made Freestyle. If y'all kind of catching up to that. And I'll put this on our Champagne Confessions page so y'all can kind of pay attention to that. But all right, so now Drake is in the chat. And Kendrick Lamar like, wait a minute, Euphoria. That was 4:30. Then he came right back to say Kendrick Lamar with his 616 in LA. Then, of course, now this is when it's starting to get a little, y'all throwing little punches. Y'all getting a little personal. Drake and his Family Matters, as well as Drake's parody. I didn't see the parody. It's on Instagram, they say. And then, of course, Kendrick Lamar, back to back, Meet the Grahams. And then he got Not Like Us. And then Drake ends it with The Heart Part 6. And everybody was saying, okay, I think he's giving up at this point. So let's just see what everybody in the chat are saying about that. Just look at that track list. Let me take this banner off so y'all can see the bottom. But, so y'all can kind of screenshot that so y'all can keep up, everybody follow through. Because if anything, it's just mute. I'm glad that they did wake up the beast, because I've been waiting on that last album. Yes, I think it got a Grammy nominee or whatever, but I felt that at least Kendrick Lamar's album, I didn't feel it as much as his other projects and things like that. But that's just my personal opinion on it. What do you think about that, Kai? Just that list. Did you have a listen to some of these things? I know we were that was Drake. We was not Drake. Chris Brown, we was kind of listening to. Speaking of beef, we were talking about that last week. But what do you think about at least the back and forth with these individuals?
Shout out to these grown men and their bullshit. Just shout out to them. I really don't have an opinion like that as far as going into detail, because I just told y'all I'm in a reset mode. And
so you're not paying attention to a lot of it. I got you.
It's like, look, y'all are grown men. That's y'all business. I mean, it's one diss after the other. It's Chris Brown, Quavo, and them. It's just like, Lord, I'm immune to it now. And so I haven't been really, yes, I've heard the songs and stuff, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, like it's not like, for me, my reaction has not been, oh my God, oh, you heard that, oh, girl. I'm just like, okay.
You gotta really be invested in it. And of course, it's okay if you don't, because it's like, it is kind of just a a back and forth, and a lot of people put in too much energy. It's kind of something that Mike and them did on. If y'all seen that clip that was premiered on Champagne Confessions from Mike and K Styles show, they kind of addressed it. Are we too invested in this information? But basically, if you didn't listen to it, or you don't give a damn about it, basically the songs released in quick succession were riddled with allegations of pedophiles, domestic abuse, body modifications, parentage, and more. So kids are brought into it, accusing each other, one of, dealing with underage girls. I think there was an article that came out with one of the ladies was like, hey, my father brought me on the stage. Well, I guess his entourage, Drake's entourage, invited her on stage. And I did see a little bit of the clip.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little cringe worthy for me, though, honestly, because it was before she said, hey, I'm 17. And everybody was like, well, in that country where that show aired, of course, 17 is not considered illegal. But it was the way he kind of like, oh, man, look at you type of deal before he even knew how old she was. She clearly looked young, so that's just my opinion on it. It said, I heard family matters and I was done after the first 2 minutes. It was cool. Maggie just said he's a Gemini. Yeah, we're a little, lethal with our thoughts and minds. Look at Kanye West, we just Prince. It's a lot of artists that just got it. They just got that star factor. Kendrick is an artist. Drake is an industry chosen one that produces hit songs. That's a good way to put it. See, this is why I'm neutral, because I grew up listening to both Drake and Lamar. That's what I'm saying. I listen to them both. But of course I value more of a lyricist than now if I want to go dance and shake and all that, okay, Drake, boom. But he's kind of lost me at a few tracks myself. So it's just kind of a hit and miss for me on mainly on the Drake side of things, in my opinion, but everybody got their opinions. J. Cole knew something, so warned him about something, just my opinion. Yeah. Who was it that warned him about that? They was basically like, hey, they was trying to call J. Cole weak, but I think somebody gave him a heads up, like, man, hey, let it go. Leave it alone. Because maybe, he's been chilling. He's been cool. And then he was forced to release his album he didn't have an advertisement about it. So I think that was not premeditated. It was like, boom, now I got to act. And I think that kind of was like, this not me. That's not my character. I will at least promote my album. And this is not the way to go. So let me at least take that off. I don't want that to be the reason why my album is, is doing numbers because I'm dissing somebody. Some people just don't want to get into that beef. It said Drake wanted a response so bad he got them after 17 days. Kendrick told Drake, nigga, Prince outlived Michael Jackson, since Drake likes to compare himself to MJ and Kendrick comparing himself to Prince because he's a Gemini. Jamie said, I only see all of this as entertaining. I'm just enjoying listening to the diss tracks between Eminem and Benzino. So it's too emotional. I don't really have a favorite on this one. King said, from what I've heard, Schoolboy told J. Cole that thank you to jump in the beef after his diss track. Oh, to not jump in the beef. So I knew it was somebody. So it wasn't like he just like, oh no, I'm scared. It was just like, nah, man, let's be correct about this one. Nah, let's not do that. Pull out of that situation, because it's been a lot of too much beef going on lately between these artists, and especially with the females lately. It's just been a lot of cattiness, and I think people are starting to get tired of it. So there's evidence that Drake was talking to the chick from Stranger Things at the age of 30. That's what I'm saying. She was 16. So it's like, it's a lot of allegations, a lot of things, and it's getting a bit messy. And I do hope that they're going to, squash this at the end of it and nobody's hurt, because you already know how that beef goes. But we can go on and on about this. Kai, you got any last thoughts on it, about it?
I'm sick of it. I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't even gonna front. It's just too much.
It's too much to keep up with.
Look, I'm not interested, guys. I'll just say that. I'm over it.
Bodyguard, Drake's house. It was his bodyguard. It says someone got shot at his house. Yeah, that's what I was saying. But no, they were saying that his bodyguard. Oh, I didn't know who they identified the person at Drake's house. Yeah, I saw that story. I was hoping that some reports were coming out about that, but it ain't that serious. We got to start sticking to about, going to violence about rap beef but when you get a little personal like that, now you're calling me a pedophile. I had a incident that I've kind of told Mike and them that I at once. That's why I don't speak to certain people. I'm not gonna say exactly who, but there were some allegations about myself that was they was trying to spread rumors, but it was somebody that got caught in their own act of things and put my name in it. And of course, the rumors were going around. Nobody addressed me, the person they're accusing it of. And I finally had a cousin come up to me and was like, "Hey, I don't know if you knew what's going on or being said about you, but I don't believe it. But I wanted to address it with you. Let's talk about it." It hurt my feelings because it's like, okay, no wonder everybody's acting funny towards me. But do you understand how now it's the divide between me and my family? I have to say, it made me lose my trust in them, because if these allegations were true, you rather speak behind somebody's back or instead of addressing the situation head on. You get what I'm saying? So you rather throw everything under the bus and not talk about it, but you're talking it amongst yourselves. You get what I'm saying? So we got to be careful with that, people. All this back end allegations, if it's not true, it's not true. But if it is, address it head on. But don't do it behind people's back and then you're making them out to be something they're not. Or even if they are, handle that a little bit more professionally, or family wise. Sit that person down. Like, look, there's some things been said about you. We need to talk about this. I have a loved one that's locked up now because of some things.
But be careful what you try to put out there on people.
Mm-hmm,
even
absolutely.
If it is true, how you handle it, how the gossiping and all that, trust and believe. And you can say what you want and you can not believe, that's fine. But you'll know straight on, it's gonna come back to you, and then you're gonna know how it feels. I'm sorry to say. Well, I'm not even gonna say I'm sorry to say. I'm just here to tell you, and just be careful with that, because because what happens is you'll feel it, but it'll probably come around worse for you. So just be careful what you put out there on people, even if it's true, how you handle it, how you talk about it, how you gossip about it. Be careful.
Oh yeah, be careful, because it's people that will get in this camp. It's like, oh, I heard that Kai was saying something about Maggie, about her, about whatever. I found out about it. I'm upset. I know where Kai lives. Whatever. You just put it in a point.
Yeah.
Now you're threatening my life. It's a lot of things that goes on with that. Like, people have some deep emotional things going on. You don't know what's going on with their psyche, and you got all this going on. You got people coming after them. I know our special guy Mike threats all the time about just a little bit of things about football and what he said, his opinions on things, and they threaten this man's life. It's not that serious, people. It's not that serious. Calm down. It's just rap beef. But if that's going to cause a divide and a lot of shooting and a lot of killing, let it go. It's not worth it.
You respond like that. I don't care what it's about. Sports, entertainment. It's just like, you're reacting, but yet, okay, you're threatening somebody's life because of whatever reason. But you making yourself look, I'll just say questionable. So if your thing is to embarrass somebody or even try to, you're doing the, threatening somebody's life. It's like, I mean, I don't understand that. Like, why?
My thing is that, like, people don't realize your information is public knowledge. It's nothing for somebody to find, even if it's your last whereabouts, it's nothing to find somebody on the internet. Let's just keep that in mind.
It's not. And it's not. But I mean, I guess my question is like, why is it that serious? I don't understand. You don't have nothing better else to do. You don't have anything else going on in your life.
They don't. They don't. That internet,
Besides, I'm gonna kill your
keyboard
ass with this
warriors.
football
Yeah,
or
it's more of
basketball.
a ego boost. It's a I got this big following. I'm just this big man that likes to, knock people down because a lot of times, and we're gonna get into it. It's their self-esteem. So this is their gratification to make people angry, get a rise out of them, so they can say, "Aha, I got that person upset."
Mhm.
Ooh, so that's an ego boost for them. It's like, yeah, man, I'm the big man and things like that. So I better be careful going out, etc. Unfortunately, it's part of the business. And J Rock said it's not that serious. So, but enough of that one. We're just gonna go ahead and get into what we want to talk about today. We thank you, everybody. Continue to share this out. If you are in the chat, put some hearts, champagne glasses, whatever in the chat. Let us know you are here. But we want to get into our main topic for today. And that is knowing when to press the reset button. That's kind of why we did that little pause for 60 seconds, just for you to reflect and think about how long that actually feels when you're sitting there waiting, for 60 seconds. So 10 minutes is enough time for me. 15 minutes, 30 minutes of your day, whatever you can, take a break. Knowing when to press the reset button is most important. So here are some things that will kind of guide you into kind of when it's time. It's like, you know what, buddy? Yeah, you're doing a little too much. I think it's time for you to sit it on down, please. Sit it on down. So these are things, as to how would you know? According to lifemeblog.com, you might need to press the reset button if you are experiencing some of these. 1 second here. You get a mental or physical fog. So your mind is just, you're not focused. You can't sit down. You can't think straight. It's just, oh my God, I'm just overwhelmed. Negative thoughts about yourself or life. So now you're downing yourself. You're feeling low. You're being extremely negative. And you can't get out of that fog. Trying to get the word. Go ahead and say that for me.
Unprioritizing.
Thank you.
Your health.
So you're not making your health the most important thing. Yeah, I'm hooked on phonics, you guys. I'm all right.
You ain't hooked on it. If you ain't pronouncing the word, you ain't even hooked on the phonics. You got to be.
That was a hard one. It was a tongue twister for me. But you're not putting your life out. Look, whatever. Your health is last in this situation. You're not eating right. You're not exercising. You're not resting. Living for others' approval instead of your own purpose. So you're doing for everybody else but yourself. An unstable mental health. Of course, now you're not resting. Now you're starting to hear things, see things. You're talking out of your head a little bit. Your mind is racing. A pattern of making the same mistakes. So you just keep messing up. And some of the things that you shouldn't even be making mistakes on, but because your mind is so clouded with so much, you can't even get your job right. You can't even get the normal things that you can take care of together. A lack of balance between your work and life. So, like I said, that overwhelmness, you don't know how to put a pause on some of your day. And now you're over here like a chicken with a head cut off, like, oh my God, I'm gonna do.
Girl, that sound like that sound like we need more than a reset button. We need some serious damn help.
And then it says constantly comparing yourselves to others, as well as loss of interest in positive things. So that's just some of it. But I mean, of course, it can go more and more and more in grand detail, but we'll be here all day with that. See, I can see the bottom. Sorry about that. But yeah, constantly comparing yourself to others, so now you're like, oh, I'm not good enough because this person is better than me. Yada, yada, yada. You bring yourself down. You don't want to do it anymore. Make yourself unique. Everybody at the same cup they're selling, but do something different about your cup. You know, be a little different. You know,
Cut the
stop.
side off.
Thank you. You know, put a little
Something.
razzle dazzle in it. Put a little different type of top on it.
Right.
There's many ways to make yourself stand out, but if you're downing yourself and you letting everybody else tell you you're not good enough, oh yeah, words are, you're speaking that to an existence. So if you're bringing yourself down, oh yeah, it's going to affect you. You know, so you got to start thinking positive. So I just wanted everybody to kind of take a look at that, and give me what you think about that, Miss Guy.
I'm telling you,
Does it hit home a little bit?
all of those pointers that was up on the screen. Let me see. Put it back up there for a second.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah, let's see.
A little refresher again, right there.
Okay.
Take this banner off.
So I know for sure, and I determined this a couple of weeks ago now. But that mental and physical fog, well, it was more of a mental fog for me, and physically when I become stressed, like I become sore, and I couldn't even work out. I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't do anything.
Because you're tensing up and things like that.
Yes, over a week. All I had to do was focus on stretching and just kind of releasing. I wasn't worried about nothing else, but just trying to get my body back, and my mental, especially, because all that, it works together, just back on track and healthy. I didn't have the negative thoughts about, not necessarily the negative thoughts. But now unprioritizing my health, I'm getting like,
I know that word is so hard.
Actually it pushed me more to prioritizing my health. Okay. And all throughout this time, that's when, I had my physical, just making sure things good, vitamins, everything. And then so for me, it was more of the when you feel like you're having to push yourself. First of all, that's a sign you need to reset and step back.
Yeah. When it's a little bit more a drag and a pull, like, okay, you got to get up today.
And that's how I've been feeling. Right. A drag, even with everything that's going on, even with the show, it's just like, oh my God. And then it's certain things that you want to take care of that you need out of the way, to take care of some priority things, so it's hard to, when you try to balance your schedule, balance everything you got going on, you're like, I wish I had another 24 hours in a day to take care of everything. Because about time you look up, I know for me, it's like, dang. And then you're tired. And then before I knew it, I was falling asleep. So just imagine that. It's like, I don't like when I don't plan to go to sleep. Like, how you just sit there and then it's like, oh my God, now I'm waking up at 1, 2 o'clock. I didn't brush my teeth. I didn't do my whole nightly routine. And now
you're all over the place, because it's like, oh my God.
Right. And then I'm fussing at the other half, and I'm like, why did you let me fall asleep? I didn't brush my teeth. Because I cannot do it. It's just certain things I can't.
It's a ritual. It's a routine that you have, and when you're out of that pattern, it throws you off completely.
So that's the sign right there within itself. But then it's like, okay, now I know I have to this is just a reset. It's nothing to freak out about. This has happened before, plenty of times before. I'm used to it. I know what to do. Reset. Let me regather my thoughts. And just work with what I have and still be productive. Like, let me try. Maybe I can't do all of what I planned on doing before, but if I can just cut it down and just focus on this and then get in my brain, that's going to be successful to me. So that's what I have to do. And it's called rearranging. Sometimes I have to rearrange that to-do list. You know, that list we all have that we have to check off. You know, looking at that and like, you know what? Let me take this. Why is this even on the list? I don't even have to do this right now. This is not even, so off you go, right? And then just rearranging by priority. And the stuff that I don't need to look at or be focused on, I make sure that's hidden so I won't look at it. Because if I look at it compared to everything else that I need to do right now, it's like overwhelming. And I have to be careful. You have to be careful with that. Anybody that's like me, if you having bad anxiety, OCD, and so with me, my OCD is, of course, cleaning. But on top of that, it's about arrangement. Everything has to be in order. And then I have to do something. Like, let's say I have to look at something 2 or 3 times before I say, okay, I'm done. I just have to do it. Like, I eat, if I have some Skittles, just with any food, but I'm going to use Skittles for, and you know, it's colors. So if I have 2 purples, 2 greens, and a yellow, which one you think I'm going to eat first? I'm going to eat that yellow one, right? Because
it's not a part of your pattern.
Right.
Yeah,
so I eat like that in a pattern. But yeah, it's just, that's what that means for me, that list. I've experienced a few things on there, and my advice is to, you just gonna have to, if nobody's dying, it's not an emergency, and look, you are important. You are important. And we have to remember that you cannot just force yourself. Wouldn't you rather take a step back, regroup, refocus, have a clear head, get some air, do whatever you need to do to get in a different, in a more healthy and steady head space, and then start again. Just, to rather you're killing yourself, like you're literally killing yourself and bringing on and I'm gonna say, yes, you're killing yourself, because stress kills. Strokes, even with women, I told y'all, it's coming like we're just sick, and it's heart attacks. We cannot play with this stuff out here. I've even started eating more. I was talking to the other parents, sports parents. I'm like, y'all laughing, because they started laughing because I said, Lord, I'm so glad I started eating more Cheerios, because heart health. They was laughing. I said, I was laughing. I said, y'all, I'm dead serious though. Serious. I'm dead serious.
That's one of the leading causes of us, African Americans, man. That high blood pressure, you're eating all that sodium you put in your diets, your heart health. That's important. What Mike said, very important to motivate yourself. You're human, and people expect you to be unbothered. Everyone has tough days, but it's key to have great friends that'll help you reset. And about whatever said, I'm late as hell, but I made it, ladies. What's good though, Maggie and Kai? Appreciate you.
We just getting started.
He said, I just read a study that say words are spells, so y'all watch what y'all put out there. You dig me? I like that. Yeah. When you're speaking into existence, guess what? I'm not good enough. Guess what? You're not good enough, because you said it.
So
you put it out there. That's what you want. You're putting that in the atmosphere. Take it away. That's why I always encourage positive affirmations, even if it's just one message that you repeat over and over and over again. Go to bed with it. Wake up with it. I am great. I'm amazing. I'm special. I can do this. I can go on. Don't worry about anybody else. You got to bring that back to you. So let's get into our next one, because we getting good in these comments and topics. I thank you guys for, chiming in and putting some feedback in there. Now let's talk about what happens when you don't shut down and reset. So, you're not listening to us. We're telling you to sit on down, Mike, Kai. Get your life together. what happens when you don't get your life together and you don't want to sit your little behind down? You're doing too much. Guess what? Your body knows how to shut you down and tell you to sit it on down. I ain't playing with you. But
Yep.
If you don't reset yourself, you might feel drained, irritable, and unable to concentrate. Taking time to rest and reset can help you manage stress, build resilience, and become more creative. Because when your mind is cloudy, you're going to put out some bullshit. Let's just be real. For example, you might start to feel less overwhelmed if you create a daily routine to keep yourself organized. And that's something I work on with my therapist is how to organize your day. You need to set a timeline. Okay, from 7 a.m. to 11. I know I got to get the kids together. I know I get myself together for work. Do a little meditation. Get up before them so you can have a little reflection before you deal with them. I used to get up at like sometimes 5, 6 in the morning right before I have to get my son up. And I'll meditate. And I'll just, because that's my quiet time. And then nighttime works for me. So when they're laying down in bed, that's when I have my headphones on, or I might have my big speaker playing some good sounds. And me, when I sleep, I have to have everything completely cut off. So my mom and them get on me all the time. What happens if it's an emergency? Well, I guess I'll wake up and figure it out. Because some reason, notifications, and because I got a lot going on with, being a businesswoman as we are, we got so much going on. So it's like you have to tune the day out. And it's like, I am going to sleep. This says, basically, he said, about whatever it said, I can call it. Kielyn just locked in smoking this fire, about to roll another. So, that, and that's how you kind of unwind. Some people, self-medicate. Speaking of, Georgia has now are starting to say they might actually at least approve medical cannabis for pain patients and things like that they're going through. And it helps a lot of mental, calms you down, your anxiety. It helps with my son and his seizures. So it's a good benefits to it. But I'm taking this banner off, this picture off. But shutting down, if you don't shut down, your body's going to shut you down. Yeah. And you don't want that. That's that huge crash. You ever experienced that before where your body was like, I can't do it anymore?
Yes, absolutely. I had to be rushed to the hospital once before because of that. So it's talking about shutting down. That's what I'm saying. You can't play with stuff like that. And then that's why when you get help and like therapy, at least talking, I'm not saying therapy is always a licensed professional. Some people, now you might have, some people can just speak to, other people, meaning unlicensed, a friend, a family member, something like that. And they're, okay, at least that's therapy. But, you, once you learn and, learn the exercises, and you start to learn what you need, how to communicate even with other people of what you're needing from them. If you're needing assistance or if you're just needing, sometimes assistance can just be telling them, hey, and knowing how to communicate your friends and your loved ones, like, hey, right now, I'm kind of going through whatever. I'm good, but I just need time to,
I need this time.
I just please allow that time for me, so that's part of communicating and just telling people what you need at the time, and just being respectful about it and just have that time to yourself, because what happens is, when you practice those exercises, and my exercises, came from my therapist, it was, I'm really, really happy that I chose to, first accept the help, all the help that I need.
That's the first step.
And because at first, girl, and they were laughing at it, was like, you remember when you first come in, you were like, we were talking, girl, she said you will be looking like,
I'm not with it. And how can you help me?
And
whatever.
And I was like, me? And she was like, girl, I'm like, I know, but that's just me. Like I'm gonna give you what I got at the time. But But anyway, I'm happy that I did that, because even during the rough times when needing to reset, I know what to do. You know what to do. Once you do that, you know what to do. You know what you need to do for yourself, and you'll not, I'm pretty sure you would know what to, like I said, know what to communicate to other people around you, your support team, your support system. All right.
Yeah.
So, and I think Mike said it too about having, yeah, he did. And what he put in the chat about having those people around you. Because even though we know, a lot of times we have to be reminded. Okay.
We got people.
We got to be reminded of who you are too. So that's important. That's important. Okay.
I like what, speaking of Mike, what he said, Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. And it says about whatever, I'm up till 3 to 4 in the morning every day because that's my me time. Okay. So, you know, you figure out your time, and some people aren't night owls. And it could be due to, you know, insomnia, or, you know, you're a person that works late. So your body is used to being up. What's up, yo, Night Ryder? What's going on? Dude, I heard that track you just made. Man, that man is amazing, y'all. Y'all check him out. Man, Night Ryder is on the track. I'm telling you, he is amazing. What we probably going to do is bring in a couple of fans that want to jump in and talk with us. But I agree. So that's just kind of why you should get yourself together and regroup, because your body will tell you. And I had this, and I tell this story last year, the year before that, but it was one time I was this is when I was trying to figure myself out as far as careers. I had a job that they would kind of let go of work during the summer. So typically I rely on them letting us allow us to do partial unemployment. So my kids' mouths are fed. But this particular summer, it was like, no, we ain't doing it this year. Y'all figure it out. You ain't got no job right now. Well, you ain't got work right now. But it's like, hold on, that don't work for me. I got to feed my kids. You know, I got to work. So what I end up doing is giving them my 2 weeks. And I was like, you know what? I'm a businesswoman. Let's get out there and just figure it out and then work for myself. But this is when I was just doing it off of anxiety and panic and all of that. So I didn't prepare myself. Then, of course, I finally was awarded my unemployment because I fought for it. But this was during the height of the summer. I was extremely overwhelmed. I got a hold of a restaurant that I was going to have it as the Atlanta Falcons Nation restaurant meet and greet. That's kind of how me and Kai met. People didn't realize it, but I was completely out of my mind around that time. Completely out of my mind. Where and some people paid attention to it, that my loved ones, even kind of reached out. She's like, Maggie, I don't hear from you.
I didn't know you that well. I didn't
know me that well, but she kind of brought it up. It's like, something is not right about you.
Right. I was like, okay, I already knew something was going on, but just to, like, how we met, it was just like, I instantly had to meet you like that in the midst of that. And it was kind of like, okay, this chick crazy, but I'm crazy. We all crazy. But not in a judging you type. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, yeah, we all crazy. I said it. We all crazy. But I just had to meet you in that. And I was just like, you know, we were starting to talk business together. Remember you know, I brought you into looking into this other thing with, you know, that was whatever. But, and I was like, I mean, Maggie I was stunned because you were like straight telling. I mean, we just met these people like 10 seconds ago on the Zoom, and she was going in like the breakout rooms about her life, about her husband, about everything. And I was just like,
I had a lot of things on my heart, because it's like I felt like I was alone. It was a lot of pressure on me. You know, being married and feeling alone is not a good feeling, y'all. So I'm now divorced. I got rid of that situation. But what was happening was I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, and I was lots of caffeine. This is not caffeine now, but
Mhm.
lots of caffeine, Red Bulls,
Mhm.
Monsters, staying up all night
Just to
because I was
stay up.
trying different projects all at once. I wanted to be this music person that's all in the entertainment industry. Then I wanted to do this podcast and incorporate them together. Doing too damn much, people. Doing entirely too much. Putting
Yeah.
too much on my plate, trying to make a dollar so my kids can eat and my lights will be on. My lights never went off. You know what I'm saying? I'm always hustling. I'm always working hard. I'm always going to make sure they take care of them. But sometimes I over exert myself,
Mhm.
make myself exhausted. So one day, I think I was on the phone with one of my best friends, and I thought I was having a heart attack. That's the way it felt to me. Where, and I think now that I look at it, it almost felt like I was having a seizure because my body just kind of went numb. And I just laid there shaking just like this, just like a circuit.
Yeah.
And I couldn't talk. My tongue was numb. And I was like, my friend that was on the phone, I was like, I cannot speak. Something is wrong with me. I don't know if I'm having a heart attack. I don't know if I'm having a stroke or not. So
Mhm.
she knew where I lived. She called 911. And then I tried to, mouth the words to my husband, call him, please. So ambulance came through. Thankfully, I live here with me and my brother stay together too. So I was able to get him to come in the room, kind of said, hey, the ambulance is coming, but I can't move. Can you please open the door and let them know something is wrong? I didn't know what was happening. And they came in the room and they was like, what's going on? Because I was high strung, like that. Like they was like, calm down, calm down. First they asked, are you on drugs?
Mhm.
That was the first thing. It's like, are you, you're a little too high strong right now. Are you okay? Now be honest with it, because what you're saying right now is very crucial, to us picking you up, because we can clearly, the way you're acting like you on something. They looked at my ashtray. I got marijuana pieces, in the ashtray. They was like, well, no, we're not going to get you for that. But it's just something else that you're on that we need to talk about. And then the next thing was like, well, have you had caffeine? Have you been sleeping? No, I haven't been sleeping. A lot of caffeine. They was like, you're overstimulated. You're in a panic, so
Mhm.
calm down. And he said, what you need to do now, if you're going to smoke marijuana and things like that, get you a medical card, get a reason for it. Cause you clearly have high anxiety. And, the paramedic was like, so what you want to do? I was like, he said, you don't really need to go into the hospital. You just need to calm down,
Yeah.
get some rest, take away the caffeine. You'll be all right. So,
Mhm.
but that was my second time I had a real huge panic attack like that. The first time I couldn't even scream and yell. It was like, you ever had a dream where you're yelling, help me, and the sound is not coming out?
Mhm.
That's how my panic was that first time I had that. And it's like, dang, once again, my brother to the rescue. I can't scream. He finally heard me a little bit faintly. He was like, what's going on? I'm having a panic. So people, it can be scary sometimes.
It is those panic attacks. I
Mhm.
now though the panic and the um
It scared the hell out of me. It was
is
like I was floating.
that was, and it was crazy because when we met
Mhm.
I was going through
He was.
myself or whatever, and
Mhm.
having really bad anxiety and panic attacks to where like this
Mhm.
necklace is on. Oh, this would have to come off, and I would have to take my
Yeah,
shirt
because it's
off,
too much around your neck.
and then either go outside or open a window, and I would just cry because it hurt. It feels like you're getting ready to have a heart attack, and you
That's how it feels.
cannot
Mhm.
breathe, and it's like, oh my
Mhm.
God, like it's so like it had me crawling. You know how you latch on somebody's shirt and you just pulling because you don't know what to do, and it was that bad. So I understand that, but I also like when you were, even like when we would talk, you said, well, okay, just call me because I'll be up 3-4 in the morning and we can, and I'm like, well, I ain't gonna be calling because I'm gonna be asleep, girl. Like I'm like, Maggie, and I was like, I didn't ask you, but I'm sitting up there like, she really be up like that? Like I
Yeah.
was thinking in my head, like,
And that's not me. I normally don't be up like that. I have to go to sleep because I got to get my day started with my kids and work. I work in the
yeah,
morning. But I
Yeah.
was trying to like be up at 3, 4, and 5 in the morning trying to deal with
Mhm.
other people's businesses
Yeah.
and call myself a music manager and things
Yeah.
like that. And also my podcast and doing all this. I was doing a little too
Yep.
much. And Musa
Yeah.
Grande said, how do you find a good support system and how do you know when you find
Oh
it?
yeah.
So a good support system, sometimes it can be a close neighbor. It's
Yeah.
somebody that's unbiased to your situation that will allow you to just let it out.
Mhm.
I like support systems that will allow me to speak, get
Mhm.
it all out without intervening in that conversation. It's like a lot of people want to react and respond
Mhm.
automatically.
Yeah.
No, a lot of times we just want you to hear us. Now we might be going all over the place, like Kai. She gets excited and she talks,
Mhm.
talks, talks, but it's like, you know what? Let it out because you got to get that out. I'm the same way. So
Mhm.
finding a good support system. Sometimes you can find it on like social media, Facebook groups of people that have high anxiety. There are a lot of support groups out there. Go to like an outpatient center
Mhm.
for mental health. Don't be afraid of it because they can guide you to resources to focus groups. And because I just did a focus group maybe a couple of months back of ladies
Mhm.
that just don't want to counsel, they don't want a therapist, but they just want to talk amongst other people like them, and
Mhm.
we feed off of each other. So a good focus, a good person, a support system, it can be your clergy. It can be,
Mhm.
you in school. It can be your counselor at school. It can be your parents.
Mhm.
It can be just a close
Anybody.
friend. It can be your
A
companion.
strength. Yep.
It can be,
Anybody.
but
'Cause
a lot of time when it's a stranger, they don't know
yep.
your life like that. They're not listening to it biased. They're
Yeah.
like, well, I don't know you, so I have to listen to get contact clues. And if you don't find a
Mhm.
support system like that, therapy.
And that's what happened when we met. Again, we really didn't know each other like that. It was just beginning to know each other. And when you were on that rant or whatever, like I don't think when we were on the phone, I don't think I talked that because you were just whatever in
Going.
the same way.
Yeah,
I
your
was
mind
like,
is going a mile a minute. And I
I
look at some of the messages I was sitting. I'm gonna tell you one person, John Abraham. He has a mental complex going on because that's
Mhm.
CTE and things like that. But
Mhm.
actually, a lot of people don't know. I'm extremely close to John Abraham because I was going through it. And for some reason, when I seen that he was in the hospital dealing with his mental issues and he answered my inbox, I was like, hey, John, I see that you're trying to get your mental health in check,
Mhm.
because he was really, really sick, people. Y'all didn't
Mhm.
realize John Abraham was really ill, where he was
Mhm.
losing his mind in a way. So he knew he had to go to the hospital and get himself together. But the fact that he openly, publicly spoke on it, and he said
Mhm.
basically behind the scenes, he was like, I will donate my brain for research. I'm doing a lot of research on it now, and I want to be an advocate for it. Um, like when that time when they found him kind of I think he fell in the bush or something. I think he was out. He said he wasn't drinking, but something was going on with him that day. He had a bad episode. They recorded it and tried to make it seem like that John Abraham was losing his mind and it was something. But I checked on him right after that. I was like, John, because he was doing so well after a while. He got out the hospital.
Mhm.
He was leading a good life, but he just had that one episode. Mental health, you're going to have some hiccups here and there.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, I'm okay. I'm good. And he said, I appreciate you checking up on me because people
Yeah.
are trying to paint me out to be this crazy man.
Yeah.
We talked about his family. I talked about mine. And this man, and when I went back and saw those messages, I was boop, 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 boop,
Yeah.
boop. But he listened. And I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? I don't even look at it as like, oh, that's a celebrity. Oh, I don't even bother him about things. I seen him at work one day. He was like, Maggie T. I was like, what's up, man? That's the type of connection I like. I like players
Mhm.
that are wholesome. And this man just let me vent. And he was sending me all kinds of passages and little, you gonna be all
Mhm.
right. That helped me. And
Me.
I thanked him. I said, you know what, John Abraham, you got me through mine, just like you were going through yours. Thank you.
Mhm.
So I hold that personal. So trust me, I know that feeling. I'm pretty sure. A lot of people probably don't go through panic attacks. Yes, you
Mhm.
did. I remember she scared the hell out of me. Yeah. About whatever said, I typically just pay for a support system. Motherfuckers don't like doing unless money is attached. Money is the best. And money, kind
Well,
of gets
those
you where
not the
you need to
people.
be.
Yeah.
You
Those
don't, but don't, if you got to pay somebody to
those not the
support
people.
you, those not the people you want in
Those,
your life anyway.
mm-mm.
Those are, they're just only there for the convenience
Right.
of you throwing out dollars and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
those are the type of people you don't want in your life. You want support from people that's like, I'll just share your post. I don't need anything from you. I'm just
Right.
happy that you are doing your thing.
Right.
And it says, Matt Mike Sports says caffeine is more addictive than cocaine. And it said, I only drink coffee on the weekends. Ryder said that caffeine is a no-go for me. I barely drink Coca-Cola. I might have coffee every now and then. So Beasley, that's a new hey, what's how you doing, Beasley? It said I was diagnosed with ADHD at a young age and prescribed Adderall. I had panic attacks all the time. They
Mm-hmm.
gone now, thank God. But and I'm hoping that you found something that worked. It sounds like something worked out for you. That's good. And he said, I have ADHD. I walk a hell of a lot. So he kind of walks around, get physical, to kind of keep moving because he can't stay still.
You
And he
know
said,
what?
even said, I can't sit my ass down, so.
You know what I was thinking about when I was talking about, we were talking about the panic attacks. And I remember y'all, so freshly, how you learning how to set healthy boundaries and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember, Lord have mercy, the church. Okay, so you know how at church certain people each week do the reading or this or that, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Shanika, Shanika. So
Mm-hmm.
she's over putting whatever. And so I had saw my name on the reading of like to read the scripture, whatever.
Ooh, that probably made you nervous.
And I tell y'all, I mean, instantly, my immediate, I had a anxiety, like a panic attack, and it wasn't the fact that me reading it. That's not the thing of standing in front of people and reading it. That's not what made me have the panic attack. It was more of, I felt like, who asked me? I don't care if this is church. Who
You put me
asked
on the
me?
spot. Some people have to be prepared for that.
Ask me. And it wasn't even putting on the spot prepared. Flat out, you did not ask me. You did not ask me. You didn't come to me and ask me. But I was just thinking about just, the things that were causing those panic attacks. And it was because now, of course, I'm not going to have a panic attack because you overstepped boundary, but it was new to me. I was practicing, and that I had to literally, I was crying really bad. I mean, just over something simple like that, it just caused anxiety. But I'm telling you, child, them panic attacks.
Yeah,
I haven't had one in quite some time. I don't know about you, and anybody else, but them things. Yeah,
I haven't had a big one like that in the last couple of years because me and my best friend, we're not talking anymore. So that was like, I forgot what year that was, 2018. It was like right before my brother passed, or it might have been the same year my brother did pass. I can't remember. So I haven't had like a huge one like that. But Nyght Ryder, I gotta have my alcohol. Now that one, I'm gonna give you the mama comment because alcohol, it might make you feel good and things like that, but you understand the ingredients that goes into what alcohol is.
Your liver, your
especially
health.
your liver, your health,
My
the sodium that comes in it. After a while, especially when we get older, if you're not putting water behind it, if you're not moderating it, it can really fuck you up, and I'm sorry to say. So it's like, we got to be careful about the alcohol drinking. And no, of course I partake, but I don't do it every day because it's like, I know I have a natural addictive habit, and I know I've been to places where I blacked out and not remembered what the hell is going on. Now, me, when I drink like that, though, I'm at home. I've never been into an awkward situation where I'm out somewhere, but sometimes that's a danger too, because it's like I'm at home, I'm comfortable amongst people. So yeah, let me turn all the way up. And then it's like, okay, everybody else downstairs party, I'm upstairs passed out or high or whatever because I don't drunk too much and I don't let myself go. So I have to physically tire myself, and it helps me to get in shape as well as calm my mind. And Beasley said I got to smoke weed, have no choice. And so I have to regulate it through alcohol is good in certain ways. So if you do it in moderation, it's okay. You can have a glass of wine. You can have, there's things you can drink, but you got to start thinking about your health at the same time. But let's get into these. And I love these comments. We're going to get into some more comments, but let's get into our last little bit of what we're talking about today. And then of course we'll close it out because Ty is on the Atlanta Falcons Nation. He has a show following us. Y'all go tune into him. He actually is live now. Once we in here, head on over there and show him some love. But how do I reset the button in life? So now we talked about some of your strategies. Let's kind of get a little bit more factual things about how to reset yourself. So not only are we doing experiences from life, you also get a little bit of a scientific fact of how to handle yourself, how you take care of yourself. So these are the things that you just want to pay attention to. Screenshot this as well. But it says resetting yourself can involve taking care of your physical, mental, emotional well-being. Some ways, you can do this includes making time for activities that bring you joy and help you recharge, such as reading, exercise, like Mike said, he walks around, or spending time in nature. It's nothing like a sit on the porch and it's a windy, beautiful day. It's fall. You're just enjoying the breeze that's blowing by. You're going to, if you got a nature trail, you can walk around. I used to get up and walk around this park that had like a little mini nature trail that you walk through. Just the scenery and everything about that was just so peaceful. Connecting with others. Let me take off this banner. Sorry, you guys. Connecting with others. So it's like you got to find like-minded people that you can kind of bring groups together. It's like, hey, let's walk together. Communicate. I like this. Like-minded people. Some people walk up Stone Mountain as a group. Some people just go find a local park or something, or a high school that's closed for the summer, and you can walk around their track. There's a track over there by College Park that you can walk around for free. Schedule a day off away from your devices. So some people say I'm coming off social media for a few days or a month to kind of regroup myself. Sometimes you got to shut it all down. Forget it. It's going to be there. It's going to be there. You're not missing anything. So shut it down. It's not going anywhere. And going away for the weekend. So just tell everybody, hey, I love you, but I'm going away for a while. Shut everything down. Just regroup, relax, get a massage, take a bubble bath, play some music, forget about it. Taking advantage of slow work cycles. So if your day is slowing down a little bit, just, enjoy that little piece. Because my job, it's high demand at a certain time, then it's kind of a quiet time. So it's like I kind of just enjoy that little piece I get at least at work when it's not a lot of back-to-back business I got to deal with. Enrolling in a class and learning a new skill. So sometimes you got to volunteer. Sometimes you got to kind of redirect your energy, all that negativity into something productive.
Try something
positive. Try something new, because it's going to get you your juices flowing. You're going to be thinking about it. You're excited about it. And especially if it's something that you don't even know what, you're learning. So you're gaining, your mind is being stimulated, then you're excited when the outcomes comes like, oh my God, I'm actually good at this. I actually enjoy this. You're going to keep doing that, because the next thing you know, it's a great hobby for you to have. Setting aside a day for brainstorming. So we got so much on our plate. We don't sit down long enough and just map out, okay, what's most important? Like I keep quoting my therapist, but what we're working on is organization. And it's basically, you need to pinpoint what's high priority for you. Put that on your list. What's not so important, but you can get to it. So you got to have levels to your day or your goals. You got your short term and your long terms and your right nows. Put those on a organizer. There's so many apps you can use to organize yourself. Go into Google. Google got a lot of like Google Meets, Google Office, Google this. They got a lot of programs that's free that you can organize your life and just prioritize your day. If you got to set up your time up 8 o'clock, I need to get up and do a little bit of walk around my neighborhood. Do it. But just set aside some time to just kind of reorganize your life and set a schedule. Working in a fresh location. So sometimes you had you had a job that's stressing you out, and that's the majority of your day. Then you're coming home and you're upset. You want to cuss out the baby daddy and, all this kind of stuff. You want to whoop the kids because they just jumping around being children. Y'all being too noisy. It's like, mama, we're just kids. So you're starting to take it out on people. It's like, no, it's time for you to kind of find a new job, start anew, fresh new places. Even if you got to pack up your shit and go on to another state.
Right, because they didn't do it. That them people at their job. Hey, you don't bring that back to your family. Your family be looking at you, be like, "Hey, dude, don't come in here with that mess."
And then reward yourself. You also gotta treat yourself. That's something you got to do. I'm leaving this up there for a moment. Miss Kai, what you got? You can go ahead and intervene on that one. What you think about it?
I mean, yeah, these things right here. I'm gonna tell y'all, like, even when you get that time, I know most of you all already know my life. As a sports mom, I will say a sports family.
Too busy.
We're busy, and that I like to get out and have fun. I'm not really a club person. I'm not. The club and the loud music I'm not really that person. I like the quiet, the lounges where
I love lounges and things that's kind of laid back and kick back. Yeah.
But I have to literally try to force and schedule when I can, do it now. But it's good to get away. And then also, I don't know, whenever they don't have a game like this past weekend was weekend from heaven because nobody had a tournament. And Lord, I was so happy to see Friday. I didn't know what to do. The only thing I had to do, because Kennedy, her 8th grade prom is this Friday. We just had to go. We went out to Perimeter and we wasn't stressed. We knew we was going for it. It was there. We got the stuff. We had a good little time out there. Came back home, but that time it's like, I'm gonna be honest, I have to, if I need to clean the house, it's kind of like, okay, I don't want to waste my time cleaning the whole weekend. So if I need to do that, I kind of break it up and still try to get my relax in where I don't want to do nothing. I don't even see that car for the whole weekend. Getting in the car, driving somewhere, I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna be in the house. Also, and mention about, going outside. I like to go outside. I like gardening, stuff like that. The flowers, the flower beds, checking on stuff like that. Flowers, the plants in the house, that brings a lot of peace. Even talking to the flowers and the plants because they live too. And just enjoying the outside, even if it's, even if it's just to go outside and watch something on your phone. Netflix, whatever you watching on your phone, just to get outside of the house.
That vitamin D is extremely important for us people. Get your butt out. That's why seasonal depression happens, because we're sitting indoors in the fall. I typically do get seasonal depression during the winter months, typically around February, March. Actually, I did pretty decent this year because I have a therapist I'm working with now. And then of course my divorce happened, so it's like a lot of that stress was taken off of me as well. Good career now, getting promotions at my job, so it's like I'm a bit more stable, but I still had distractions that was causing some stress, and I had to remove that out of my life as well, outside of my marriage and things like that. So I was too busy trying to be a people pleaser and all this, and I was like, you know what, I got to take me back. So
that's another thing, people pleasing.
So where does it say? I was kind of get down to the bottom. It says, don't want to be, so you say you don't want to be dependent on the alcohol. We was talking about that when he said it. I do it on weekends. Of course, as long as you do it in moderation and things like that. We're not saying don't drink, but if you feel like you're doing it too much, you got to wake up to it. It's the problem. You have a habit. And we got somebody in the back of the chat, Mr. Fulton. Make it quick.
I don't want nobody coming on here named Mr. Fulton County. I'm just playing.
We'll get you on. Let me get these comments real quick. I keep watering my fridge at work. Good, because you be out there in the high heat. My uncle died because of liver cancer. He drank every day of his life from a young age. I got one more beat to do before I leave here. I'll catch you later. Okay. I usually go get a massage and of course, your happy ending. So let's go ahead, Mr. Fulton. We're gonna close this out after you. If anybody else want to hop on real quick. But let me get you on here real quick. What's up?
What's up, ladies, man? Keep doing.
How you doing?
Keep up the good work, man. Keep doing this good work, man. I'm just popping in, man. I honestly moved from Atlanta because I was a problem child as a child. And I found my solace in my solitude amongst myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always really been a loner, so it don't really bother me much. But I usually find like my motivational factor is solitude. Now, it ain't for the faint-hearted. It ain't for the I don't want to say weak-minded, but those who don't have a strong will. It ain't for those type people. Yeah, but it is what it is. But you gotta know when, where, and how to move, if that makes sense. Yes. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I left and I felt peace in me leaving.
And that's that change of scenery. That's that change of environment, because you knew where you was at. You was probably getting in a lot of trouble. You didn't have that support system. So you move it to, like we said on that key point, a refreshing location. It's a fresh location, a fresh start.
Exactly. I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. That because what is it called? Like hermit mode. That when you go into like a hermit mode, the end of 2021, I spent a lot of time to myself. But remember too, during 2020 and it started then in 2020, but during that time I was going through, when you're you're seeing the light from your darkness. But I started, even though I was happy, it was like fresh, things. I was accepting myself, all these good things. You're excited about the new you. But I was not ready, or really I didn't even know about this. I wasn't informed. But
you got a TV in your background. You want to cut that down a little bit?
I'm about to,
okay. I didn't even hear that. But
my ears are sonic.
when he was mentioning that, it reminded me of that place when I started spending a lot of time to myself, because at the same time, even though I felt like happy and understanding myself, knowing who I was, I started to feel depressed again. And I couldn't figure out why. I was like, I feel depressed, but I'm not depressed. And I was like, I don't feel the same anymore. Like, what's wrong with me? I don't feel like myself. But y'all know what that was? When I had to look it up, because I started telling Brian, my mom, everybody. And everybody was like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know. So when I finally did some research, they referred to it as the ego being stripped away, like you coming into that newfound person, that better you. And that's when I started spending a lot of time, like during the holidays, you know how you be with family, but I couldn't wait to get back home or somewhere where I could just go right back into myself, because I was so interested in learning who I was becoming, because it was so freaking different. And I didn't have any of the same friends anymore. It was just wherever I was led to go to do. Even I told you I was led to send you that message. I didn't know you. I just knew you from AFN. And I was like, to get it. I'm just gonna do it. And you see what happened, and it's like God will point you in
and
that
guide
direction
you.
where you need to go to even find your support system. Because he said, how do you find it? Even with that, those old friends, I mean, everything serves its purpose.
People are in your life for a reason and a season.
It just happens that way. And it wasn't scary, but I would say interesting, because this was new. You know what I'm saying? So I know exactly what he's talking about. And you have to be able to be in a certain mind frame, not just, even if you're not naturally that type of person. I always feel like some people can, learn and how to get uncomfortable with something that's not comfortable for them at in the beginning.
Yeah, you got to face those uncomfortable things about yourself. You got to tackle those things.
It was once
you figure out what the common denominator and what's bothering you, you got to face it head on.
Yep.
When you keep pushing those things aside, then you just all you're doing is blanketing it. You're covering it up with a mask, but you're not addressing it, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's going to take over you. You were going to ask Mr. Fulton something?
Yeah, I wanted to ask. I didn't mean to cut you off, Maggie. At that time, but I want to ask him. So when you spend time by yourself, because I know for me, and I know Maggie, we both spoke on this. Spending time alone is where the happiness begins.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that?
I mean, all the time. Like
that's
a lot of people can't take it because it leaves you in your own head, if that makes sense. Like, and I done had a lot of traumatic experiences in my life, like from prison, metro, prison, all type of shit, homies dying, all that. Like, so that's a scary place to be. Like, especially like when you like me. I'm very reclusive. Like I tend to stay to myself. I love solitude. If you put me in the room by myself, I'm good. But that's a scary place to be sometimes. And then you get to thinking in your own head.
Your mind gets to thinking in your own head, and sometimes you can be your worst enemy. Sometimes
facing yourself. You know, we don't like to do that.
Sometimes I find myself, man, talking to my dead homies and shit like that. It ain't cool. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm crazy, like I'm throwed off, but
we ain't.
That's just what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you reflecting and you're thinking about your homies, and you're thinking about the loved ones that came and gone, your life, your trauma. And Mucho Grande said, I like this. I think I'm gonna write this down. He said, I would say y'all should do a bike ride event on the Beltline or some, but a lot of adults don't own a bike. Bikes are inexpensive. You can go to Walmart and get a bike for like $20, $30, $40. You can go to Amazon and get a bike. Bikes are nothing because people are not working out like that anymore. So it's not high demand. You can get a bike just like that. So that's actually not a bad idea. That's free. And the Beltline is a real nice area to ride around. And then you can park your bike, and it's like little eateries and things in that area. So Mucho, I think I'm gonna write that down.
I was just saying I wanted to get out and do a bike ride too.
I planted the seed in my hat.
Right.
That's
so I'm gonna do that. My
daughter could do for free.
Right.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. Because like you can go to I know you're not in Atlanta. I'm pretty sure there's some places that you can go to, but I know Piedmont Park in Atlanta is a good place to ride around that trail. It's different trails that you can ride around. So take that advice, Mucho. I actually screenshotted that so I could put that in my notes. I'm thinking that's a good idea. I would say maybe early so it won't be so hot. So everybody won't be sweating up the storm, but of course it's good cardio, it's good exercise. It's good, but on this note, we're probably going to go ahead and wrap this up because I want to get y'all over to AFN and Ty's show. Let's talk about it. He's on right now, so we don't want to hold up too much of his time, but we really thank you. Mr. Fulton, for coming on and speaking to us about a little bit. We're going to get more in detail. We'll probably do a couple of more episodes here, but let's get into our last sip. So we're going to go ahead and let the guest kind of give his last minute thoughts. And then I got a big announcement I want to put out there so everybody can know. I'm excited to announce. So, Mr. Fulton, what's your last sip? You know, any last words or thoughts you want to close it out with?
Man, you got to be self-consciously aware. You gotta be aware. And I don't mean it just in the literal sense. Like, you gotta be mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and physically aware. Because if you ain't, it can lead you into some very, very dark places, man. Like for real, like I done been there. I survived them, man. I'm just
I've been in some dark places. I'm telling you, man. I've been to a point where I haven't been motivated to get out of my bed. I actually almost let Champagne Confessions go. I almost wasn't motivated enough to even get on the show for AFN. And everybody was like, "Where you at? Well, what's going on with Maggie?" I was in a dark. People didn't know. I just disappeared off the face of the earth. It's like, where's she been? I was in a dark place, and I didn't like being in that place.
Last thing, ladies, a mind is a terrible thing to waste, man. And knowledge is powerful, man. Like, stay informed, still sharp and still, man. Iron sharp and iron.
Yep.
And with that, I'm gonna let y'all handle y'all business on here. You know, I'm locked in.
Thank you for coming on too, for sharing your your just your experience and your advice. And then having somebody, because this your first time coming on, so I like that, you know.
He told me he'll come on the Falcon stuff, but you know, I love it when people are open to speaking about, you know, real things. Sometimes we get too caught up in the sports world of things. We forget that we are completely human and people go through things and we got to deal with life. When that football game is over with, you right back to reality. So how do you tackle that part of things?
Who won or not?
You're going right back to who the hell you are. After
depression is real, man.
Yeah, depression is
real.
Absolutely.
I done been through it. Trying to tell you, man.
It is, and that's really hard. Really hard.
As long as you got a breath, you in the fight, baby. Keep your hands up.
They were saying some people didn't wake up and see that. They didn't wake up at all. You know, so you're blessed to see another day. Miss Kai.
Yep.
Your last sip.
Peace, love, and blessings, ladies. Chat.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on.
No doubt.
Well, really, back what Fulton said, you know, he was saying that he's really putting it out there that you got to be woke. You got to be woke. To yourself, to what's going on in the world, just the things that's going on around you each and every day. And if we make it a priority to take the time out to first look at ourselves, and I know, you know, it's always going to be evil and good is always going to exist. So you would expect that, right? But if we take more of the time to look at ourselves, I feel like, you know, things, of course, would be better because we have a lot of blaming. And this is where I'm going with it, because if you're taking the time with all the stress and stuff that's out here, right? If we're taking the time to reflect on us first, instead of, you know, how we point, that's our first reaction. Right? We're pointing. If we do more of, you know, this, then because you saw what we were just talking about, it starts with here, with self, right? Do you know not only if we do that, instead of going into this just being narrow-minded about things, do you know if we did that, then instead of getting caught up just within our own perspective and what we think and how we view things, that'll help us to see just how other people may view things and how they feel about things. Because now it's like, and then also communication, instead of being quick to do this. So when we talk about self-care and self-reflection, like all of that to me plays a part in it, because at that time that saves a lot of relationships out here. And when I say relationship, I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. Any even a relationship with yourself is a relationship. Okay, relationship with your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your friend, whoever it is, that's a relationship. We could see and do so much better. So pretty much that goes back to us looking at ourselves. Okay. Then at the same time, you start to learn about yourself, learn about who you are. Then you step into who you truly are and what you've become. And then that helps to, like, for me, for instance, I wouldn't have never been able to even know how to communicate with people, communicate with people, can see things from their point of view if I had not done the work on myself internally. So if you think about, well, what's she talking about self in order to make, do it. If it doesn't make sense by you hearing, do it. That opens up a lot. Everything starts with you, even the happiness that we were just talking about. If you're not comfortable, or if you have to, because it's a lot of people have to have people around, in order for them to be happy, in order them to be productive.
They're extremely dependent.
Right. They're not comfortable in self yet, because like Fulton said, you start getting in them thoughts, you get to see yourself. And a lot of times we're like, wait, so now I got to be busy. Now I got to get around a group of people because I can't go back to that place. I can't do that. I'm uncomfortable with that. So when we talk about reset, so we always with these shows, we cut up, but we talk real life stuff here. And with resetting, hitting that reset button, let's try doing that. Let's try doing that for the rest of the week. Tonight, after hearing this show, we log off. The show has ended. What are you going to do? Off. Right. What's the first step that we're going to take? Are we going to go back to rushing? Are we going to go back to complaining, what we can't control most of the time? Are we going to rush out for that other person, this person over here to be a hero, I guess? I don't know. Or are we going to take what we've heard here tonight, sit back, sit with ourselves, even if it is uncomfortable? But are we going to take that first step? Because in order for you to become comfortable, it may be uncomfortable in the beginning, but you got to take the first step and reflect and say, you know what? I'm not going to let anybody tomorrow morning, because my cousin and them calling me before I can get up, and I got all these text messages to look at, and they're putting all this BS on me for me to look at and hear. Am I going to take control and set some healthy boundaries to protect my energy and my health, my well-being first? Let me think about me first. Not to say I can't be there, but it's on my time and I have boundaries. Let me take the first moments of my morning for a second to myself even if that's to pray. Even sometimes for me, y'all, it's a prayer to where I'm praying to God like, look, I'm not with it today, and anybody can catch it at this right moment. I'm telling you this, and you know this. So I'm asking you to act right now on my behalf. Seriously. Because somebody's going to get cussed out the way I'm waking up feeling. Okay.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Then you able to redirect your focus, your energy. As the day gets older, it'll get better, because at that point you're in control. You are in control. You are. And your last few moments of the evening before you go to bed, you gonna let them again put all that stuff on you? No. And if you are the one doing it, come on now. Again, that's resetting and looking at ourselves. Everything starts with you, bro. As my kids be saying and calling me. My name, mom, mommy, bruh, bro, whatever. That's
like what Mucho Grundy said. Don't tell no lies about me, and I won't tell no truths about you. So, and I love that, Kai. I love, all that you just said. I really do hope that people that are watching, I see a couple of people that just jumped on. I hope, even if you missed a lot of this episode, go back and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make a big announcement, and then of course I'm gonna go into my last sip. So of course I think I put it in the chat. I don't think Kai paid attention to it because she's just a workaholic, work mom, sports mom. But I am officially certified.
You are?
I am. I did all my courses. I am complete. I am now a mental health coach.
Good. Welcome to the team.
So thank you. Thank you. It was a long time coming. Life happened. I had to put it on the back burner.
Yeah.
And what's up, Floyd? But I finally got it done. So now I can officially say I am your mental health coach. Miss Kai introduced me to the program. Of course, she's a mental health coach. What we want to do now that I got my certification, things like that, I will definitely want to begin to open up the doors for people that want to communicate with us. We will sit down some time and talk about that, me and Miss Kai. But my last sip is thank you. I feel good about that because
actually, I do have some. Well, we can talk about that with when you mentioned, it reminded me when you mentioned reaching out to everyone to reach out if they need want to talk. I'll say that. I'll just leave it at that. Because we're going to start working on schedule and the calendar. So we'll be talking about that, and we'll make it easy to where you guys,
we're accessible. We do have a Discord,
and you all can schedule your appointments like that. So I did want to mention that piece of it, so they'll have an idea.
Let me get the Discord for people to follow us. My mental space. And put that banner up. But we will definitely just look out for us now that I am definitely certified. I didn't want to beginning until I've completed my courses because I just went through the disorders, the addictive behaviors. I got into that, the medication. So it's like I took a deep dive towards the end of that course where I don't want to lead anybody wrong. I want to be skillful in what I know, of course, off of experience because of my baby. And my own mental health, of course, ADHD, seasonal depression, anxiety, PTSD, all of that for me. And I have a daughter that suffers from a catatonic schizophrenia. And if anybody don't know what that is, it's a blackout where she just completely goes berserk. She doesn't recognize who she is. She's fearful of everything, including myself. She doesn't recognize I'm her mother. And she goes into a catatonic status where she's non-functionable, where she needs assistance with just picking up a glass, coloring, eating, going to the bathroom. She goes into a vegetable state where she is just, her body shuts all the way down and her mind blacks out. So that's the reason why I went into becoming, wanted to be into mental health awareness. That's the importance of this Champagne Confessions show, because we want to reach somebody. Some people are not aware that they have some issues. But whatever we can do to touch somebody and get a message to somebody, we've done our jobs, so we definitely want you guys to, one thing I'm going to leave you with here. Happiness starts, like she said, within yourself. You cannot expect somebody. Everybody want to be dependent on, I need a love because, it makes me happy. Money makes me happy. That inner happiness, when I had to find myself, dealing with my own sexuality and things like that. I was living in a shell and I wasn't being my true self. And I was a people pleaser. I worried about what people thought about me. I was trying to hide myself. But I had to realize I needed to take control of who I am. I was allowing people to kind of just bring me down. I was listening to that. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I shouldn't be here. I just wish I don't have to wake up. I was thinking of those type of things, but I was like, because everybody depended on me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got problems. Everybody want to cry to Maggie. But who the hell thinks about Maggie? What's wrong with you? Are you okay? So it's like I had to take those leeches out of my life and I had to take me back because I was stressing the hell out over shit that it was other people's problems.
Yep, you have to learn it.
I have my own issues that I got to deal with. I got to be a single mother, make sure my kids are taken care of, get up to go to work, wake up and be productive and get out of my bed. That was a challenge.
Yeah.
So it's like what Will Smith says.
Yeah.
You have to make yourself happy first. It didn't make a sense. I don't know. People argue. It was an argument on Facebook the other day. People always feel like, God created us to be, we have to have people in our lives. I get that part of things, but don't ignore your inner self first. Get you together.
Right.
If you get yourself under control, if you can wake up naturally and depend on your own happiness and
empowering.
It's empowering. It's like, I don't need nobody to make me happy.
Oh my God.
People are so dependent on, why won't you get married? Why won't you be in a relationship? Everybody needs somebody. That's true. But if that's the only thing that you're depending on, if you can't find comfort within yourself, you're doing it absolutely wrong.
You're going to be unhappy because you always going to look for somebody else and you're never, only people can add to what you have. They can only add to it. It starts within yourself. I do not care. That is a fact. That is not my opinion. That's not Maggie's opinion. It's nobody else's opinion. That is a true fact.
Hey, let's get to this real quick. Before we miss this, Floyd said we need to open up a line so I could talk. You know what? Let me put the Discord. Let me go in here real quick. While you talk, I'm gonna put the Discord. Find us on My Mental Space Discord. You can message us privately. And then of course we'll figure out. Well, actually, I know some lines that you can probably create. We'll do it like a hotline. I'll let you know, guys. That's a good idea, Floyd. Because he said I have interim rage disorder and it's not good. And Lavora, hey girl. Happiness definitely is internal, and you already have. Thank you, Miss Maggie. Who is the lady next? Yes, Kai. And you'll see her on Atlanta Falcons Nation, Lady Birds of AFN. And it says you can't give anything to anyone, something you don't have yourself. You gotta take care of you. And the last comment, I believe in that old Play It Fly song. Nobody needs nobody. You gotta learn to love yourself. Self-love is the most important love you can have. Let me get on here and put this Discord in there so you guys can comment with us. And of course, get your coaching. We're open. I'm certified. Kai's certified. So we are open to talking to you. So we will set up a schedule and we'll let you know when we are available. But hit us up. We can definitely arrange some times. I love doing it. But go ahead, Kai. I didn't mean to cut you off. We're finna close this out. Let me go ahead and put the Discord in the chat. What you got?
What was I saying about? What was I saying about self? Is that what I was talking about? Self. Well, I was saying that everything does start within us. Okay. Only other people, other individuals can only add to what we have. That's, you know, it has to start within us. It has to, or you'll never be happy. You'll never be satisfied. You'll just always have like a void feeling, you know, once you're by yourself, if you're not with other people, if, you know, so that means people have to be around you 24/7. You know,
that's that like, detachment. That's that attachment.
It's not healthy. It's
not healthy. I went through my therapy. I was attached to people. I depended on people to the point when they let me down, I began to become detached. Now I don't have any feelings towards. I like to be in my own shell, and that's a gift and a curse at the same time, because you isolate yourself because you've been let down. But that's because I was trying to depend on people when I shouldn't have. I need to depend on myself, you know. So
yeah, and that's what it's all about. Like we can sit up here all night, but really, y'all, I don't know how much. Sometimes I feel like I get a headache just stressing. Not that nobody's the cause of the headache. It's just the fact that when you're so passionate about something and you express it over and over again, I don't know what else to tell you, because you have to step out of your comfort zone and do the work. I'm going to tell you guys, I wish y'all knew me before I became, you know, the person I am today. Like oh my goodness, it was bad, guys. It was like really, really bad for so many years, all of my life up until 2020. I mean, it's just the top of 2024. And I don't take anything back though. Everything that I've gone through, everything that, I mean, I don't take anything back. And you know why? Because that's what made me the person I am today. And being a superhero, trying to put on a front for the world and everything.
You can't say everybody. Oh my God. You can't say everybody. And I wanted to
keep up that image. Like I felt like I had to keep that up. Now, I don't care. You have to get to that point, because it's about, for me, it's my life. It's
take control of your own life.
Right. You take control. You're not worrying about the next person or what they have and what you don't have, the comparison, because everybody's path is different. You know what I mean? So it doesn't look the same. So my path and what I'm supposed to do, I'm going to stick to, because I know at the end of the day, I want peace and happiness, and I'm going to be okay. I don't want to be trying to keep up with the next person all up in their business, and I'm not even following my own path.
The problem with that is a lot of times we are comparing ourselves with people, and you're only getting the surface of what they're allowing you to see. You don't know the blood, sweat, and tears, and the behind the scene that goes on with what however they got there. This could be a freaking front.
Yep. You cannot, and know your worth. You gotta know your worth.
Absolutely.
You gotta know your worth.
Are important. Don't ever let nobody tell you who you won't be and who you're not gonna be. You prove them wrong. When you get these people out of your head, oh man, that ain't gonna be good enough. Let them go. If somebody is negative all the damn time, they gotta call you with every single thing, baby. You handle that. I'm over here on a whole different level right now. I don't need that negativity in my life. I love you, but you got to figure this out. I can no longer be your saving grace at this point. Figure it out.
You know what? Somebody asked me, well, how do I, this person, I've told them, da da da, and I said, well, that means, I said, it sounds like it's time for you to start being supportive from afar. What do you mean?
Love you from a distance.
Well,
absolutely.
You've explained to them, you've given them the tools, you've talked for months and months and months, and it's over a year now, and they still haven't followed your advice. I'm like, so
you got to take the training wheels off. It's like, you know what? I hope you figure it out. I gave you the tools to get to where you need to be. Now you need to act on it. And
you're not even protecting yourself at this point. You don't even have a boundary anymore. Mm-mm. And absolutely. I said, you can still support that person because you don't have to make yourself available like that to them. Mm-hmm. And then two, you can tell them, look, I've done it plenty of times and will continue. Look, we have spoken about this for 2 years now, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I've, given you the advice, right? Mm-hmm. At this point, you're not even doing it, right?
I wash my hands of the situation.
So I'm gonna have to wash my hands of it. I can't continue to spend any more time on this because at this point you're wasting my time. Yeah. And so what I can do, I will pray for you, whatever, but I can't do it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
You gotta take your life back.
And you have to be able to at some point get comfortable with
saying no
those things, and don't be afraid to speak up. Stop. Don't let people push over you. Like, say what it is. Like, just tell them flat out.
Take accountability for their actions. You have to. It's going to have to be that tough love. Like, you know what? I'm about sick of this. We keep going through the same. You know what? You're not listening to me. Until you figure this part out, I'm sorry, friend, but I got to walk away. That's just the bottom line.
I mean, look, it is. Yeah, I've done it.
We can go on and we can go on and we can go on.
But it's the truth. You don't have to cuss them out or do anything. You just tell them, because if you talk, first of all, because at the same time, you're even teaching them something in that moment when you're telling them that. Mm-hmm. You're teaching in that moment, and they're going to have to understand. And once they do the work, prayerfully they do, they'll understand and realize it.
And they're going to apologize. Like, you know what? Thank you. I finally got out of my head and I started to listen to you, and I appreciate you. Mm-hmm. And, they're going to like, you know what? Because you want those friends that's not going to give up on you. But sometimes we do have to, because it's like, you're not going to, because you can talk somebody to you black and blue. But if they're not going to take that step to get themselves together, you're wasting your breath. And now that energy is on you as well, because you're worried about what your friend got going on, and you got everything else going over here. So all your energy is over here when it needs to be right here. But on that note, Miss Kai, the Discord is in the chat, people. I also make sure it's on some of our social media platforms, and put it in the Facebook chat too. Y'all go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Share this content out. If you haven't caught the whole episode, rewatch it. Leave some feedback. We appreciate that on YouTube. But follow us on the Discord for those that really want to talk to us. If you want some mental health coaching, we are now open for that. Put the Discord on that Facebook group as well. So we just want to close it out here. We thank you, everybody, for tuning in to us. Look for some upcoming events. And Mucho, I'm going to take you up on that bike ride. I think that is a great idea. I think that's something that we can definitely, get together. And that doesn't take a lot of work. And he said, well, red and black. I think that's a great idea. So red and black for the Falcons. We can ride the bike trail. And that's giving us some exercise. We get to meet some new people. And it's a great way to get your mental health, because we can stop, have a good sit down somewhere, have some brunch, whatever we do, a lunch somewhere. Even if we lead into the Piedmont area, since he said it kind of goes through that area, bring your picnic, stuff, and we can just have a nice little lunch. It can be something just nice that we can all reflect, because we got to do a mental health check in every now and then. There's nothing wrong with that. But on that note, Miss Kai, thank you. Thank you again for always being here. We show up and show out, regardless of how busy our schedule is, but it's always a good show. Thank you for the new faces that I've seen. You know, y'all tuning us. We're here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. But we're going to have to start talking with our AFN crew to see if we can kind of work on some times, because I don't want to interfere with, you know, y'all watching our, you know, AFN side of things too at the same time. So, but on that note, I am Miss Maggie.
I'm Miss Kai. See
You
y'all next week.
We'll see you next week. And then, of course, this is my mental space for those who are new here. I just want to put that little logo up there.
Yes, put the logo.
That's our nonprofit organization, and we're excited to be open up for you. Come on to the Discord and just private message us. It's all confidential. Everything stays with us. Won't be discussed. Get some help. We're here for you. On that note, we're out of here, people. Peace.
Yeah.
See ya.